been going out of my way for us, and I'm not okay.
I think I may have found one of the best budget e-bikes I've ever ridden. But before I tell you whether it's actually worth buying, we need to get it out of this box first. It's literally 1 in the morning right now, and I'm about to sneak out with the RCB G6 for its very first ride. The funny thing is, this wasn't actually the plan. I originally wanted to unbox everything earlier in the day, get it assembled, and take it out while there was still some daylight. But as usual, things took way longer than I expected. Between opening the box, putting everything together, making sure every bolt was tight, and filming all the little details, the time just disappeared. Before I knew it, it was already nighttime. I ended up going back inside, having some food, taking a shower, and honestly, I thought about just waiting until tomorrow. But after staring at this bike sitting there fully built and ready to go, I couldn't do it. I'd been waiting for this moment, and I wanted the first ride to happen now. So here we are, 1 a.m, everyone is asleep, the streets are completely empty, and this is officially my first ever ride on the RCB G6. There's honestly something different about riding at night. No traffic, no crowds, no distractions, it's just you, the bike, and the sound of the tires hitting the road. And especially for a first ride, I actually think this is the perfect environment. I can really focus on how the bike feels, how it handles, and what those first impressions are without having to worry about everything happening around me. Plus, there's just something satisfying about being outside at this time. The whole city feels like it's paused, and for a little while, it feels like you have the roads completely to yourself. After that first night ride, I was honestly excited to properly put some miles on the RCB G6. The plan was simple: spend the next few days riding it, testing the range, seeing how comfortable it was, and getting a proper feel for the bike. But unfortunately, things didn't exactly go according to plan. The next day, I was actually getting ready to film more content, but I made a small mistake. I didn't check my camera battery before heading out, and of course, when I needed it the most, it died. So I ended up not getting any footage from that day. And then, later on, I had an accident. Thankfully, the bike wasn't involved, and it wasn't anything to do with the G6. It was just one of those unlucky moments where things don't go your way. But the timing couldn't have been worse, because I had just got this bike and was ready to spend the week testing it. Instead, I had to take some time off and let my knee recover. So the bike ended up sitting there while I was waiting to get back out and ride again. So today, I've got the bike with me again. This time, I made sure my camera was fully charged, my batteries were ready, and I was finally able to take the bike out and explore. The timing was actually pretty good because my knee was starting to feel better, although it was still hurting a little bit. So honestly, I wasn't really trying to do anything crazy or push the bike too hard, and that's where this bike actually makes a lot of sense. The bike is a legal e-bike, so it's built more around comfortable everyday riding rather than insane speed. It's limited to around 15 miles per hour with a 250 watt hub motor, which means you're not buying this thing to race around. You're buying it for commuting, exploring, getting outside, and just enjoying the ride. And one of the biggest things I noticed straight away is how light this bike feels. This is honestly one of the lightest e-bikes I've ever been on. Moving it around, walking with it, carrying it up steps, it's just so much easier compared to a lot of the heavier electric bikes I've tried before. And because of that, it feels much less intimidating. You don't feel like you're controlling some huge machine. It just feels like a normal bike, but with that extra bit of help when you need it. Another thing I like is that RCB has included some really useful features without making the bike feel overly complicated. Everything you need is there, but it still keeps that simple bike feeling. Now, I'm not going to sit here and throw every single specification at you like every other YouTuber. If you want the full list of specs, you can check them out on RCB's website. For me, the important part is how it actually feels to ride, and after spending some time with it, I think the quality is actually pretty decent for the price. Is it the perfect e-bike? No. Every bike has compromises, especially at this price point. But if you're looking for an affordable e-bike that's fun, lightweight, easy to ride, and doesn't feel like a hassle to own, I genuinely think the bike deserves a look. And honestly, this is probably my favorite part about owning an e-bike. You start looking at places differently. A route that you normally wouldn't bother walking suddenly becomes something you want to explore. You can cover more distance, see more places, places, and just enjoy being outside. But obviously, no bike is perfect. There are a few things I think are worth mentioning before anyone decides to buy one. Since this is a budget e-bike, there are going to be some compromises. The motor isn't designed for crazy speed, the components aren't going to feel like a premium £2,000 plus bike, and if you're looking for something powerful, this probably isn't the bike for you. But I think that's the wrong way to look at a legal e-bike like this. The G6 isn't trying to be something it's not. It's not trying to compete with high-performance electric bikes. It's designed to make everyday riding easier, more enjoyable, and more accessible. And honestly, after hurting my knee, I appreciated that even more. There were times where I didn't want to put too much pressure through my leg, but the motor was there to help me keep moving without making the ride uncomfortable. Riding around the city and along the riverside, the bike felt really comfortable. The tires, the riding position, and the overall weight make it feel really natural. It doesn't feel like you're fighting against the bike. It just feels like a normal bike that gives you a little extra help when you need it. There's no complicated setup, no learning curve. You simply turn it on, choose your assistance level, and ride. And for someone who just wants to get outside, explore, commute, or enjoy a relaxing ride, I think that simplicity is a huge advantage. For a budget-friendly, lightweight, legal e-bike, I think it's definitely one worth considering. Honestly, throughout my time with this bike, I've been really impressed with how enjoyable it is to ride. I've taken it around the city, explored the riverside, ridden through parks, and even just gone out without really having a specific destination in mind. And that's why I don't think this is just a commuter bike. It's a bike you can use for everyday riding, weekend trips, leisure rides, and exploring your local area. You can even take it onto gravel paths, cycle tracks, and lighter off-road routes if you want to go a little further and explore different places. Obviously, this isn't designed for extreme trails or anything too technical, but for parks, riverside paths, and casual adventures, it's more than capable. I can genuinely say I've really enjoyed my experience riding the RCB G6. The ride quality feels smooth, the handling feels comfortable, and the bike just feels really natural to ride. The first thing I noticed straight away was how lightweight this bike is. Compared to some other e-bikes I've ridden, moving it around and riding it feels so much easier. The range has also been really impressive. I never found myself constantly worrying about the battery, which gave me the confidence to just enjoy longer rides and explore more. Even after spending a good amount of time riding around, I never felt exhausted or like I had just finished a workout. The speed stays consistent within the legal limit, and for an everyday e-bike, I think that balance works really well. And for me, that's what makes the RCB G6 such a good option. It's not an overpriced e-bike trying to impress you with unnecessary numbers. It's a practical, comfortable, and enjoyable bike that does exactly what it's designed to do. Personally, I've ridden more expensive bikes that didn't necessarily feel better to ride, so I think the bike offers really good value for what you're getting. But of course, that's just my personal opinion after spending time with the bike. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. If you have any questions about the bike, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. I'll leave the bike link and discount code in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.